Hey YouTubers! As some of you may already know, I am MJN Seafer, and as some of you may not yet know, I watch a lot of cartoons. So I thought to myself, why don't I start up an animation review show so that way I can say exactly what I think of said cartoons? But then I also thought to myself, but how do I decide out of all the cartoons out there which one I review first? I mean, should it be a movie? Should it be a show? Something I like, something I don't like, something old, something new? There's just so much to choose from. I spent all day searching through my entire collection and checking out every channel I could think of. But no matter what I did, I just couldn't make up my mind. And then I resorted to drastic measures. Hello, well you don't know me, but I'm starting an animation review show on YouTube, and I was just wondering if you... Hello? How rude! I was just about to give up, but then something amazing and totally believable happened. Sure, why not? Welcome to MJN's Animation Reviews, where I rate cartoons from awful to awesome. And it looks like our first cartoon will be An American Tail, a movie that has been part of my life for as long as I can remember. Which kind of makes sense since it's literally a year older than me. And as soon as it begins, I can see that it's beautifully drawn and animated. And evidently, it's also about mice. Oh, is that why tail was spelt that way? Specifically, the Mousekewitz family. A family of mice who dream of doing a James Brown and living in America. But you're probably wondering, why do these mice want to go to America anyway? And to that I answer, I don't know. Maybe they'll explain it in this upcoming scene or something.
In America, there are mouse holes in every wall.
Hey, that actually sounds kind of cool. Hold on a second, YouTubers. I've just got to make a quick call. Hello? Yes, I'd like to book a flight to America, please.
In America, you can say anything you want.
Well, I was just watching a movie about it, and it sounds awesome.
But most important, and this I know for a fact,
I'm serious. There's nothing this movie can say that won't make America sound like the most awesome place ever.
in America there are no cats.
Never mind. Well, that was disappointing. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Animation review, obviously. Yes, it seems that the mice have a bit of a cat problem, as said cats have the tendency to raid their villages and presumably slaughter everyone. Which, you know, in fairness, must get kind of annoying. This leads to an awesomely intense scene during which our main mouse Fievel decides to play the hero and scare the cats away. Which I love because I always enjoyed it when characters ran off into dangerous situations like this. Mainly because, well, I kind of like to think that I could be that fearless when I was the age I saw this. Which, incidentally, was likely around Fievel's age, so it would probably go about as well for me as it does for him. But still, I love the intensity of this scene, especially when the cats seem oh so close to catching him. Also, is it me, or does Fievel seem kind of drunk at the end of this scene? This gives the mice the push they need to actually go to America, and it also gives the movie the perfect chance to establish a character trait for Fievel. Basically, he's curious, he asks questions, he wanders off, he's excited whenever something new presents itself. And basically, I love this, because it actually sounds like a child his age might be. I also got to give props to the writers because they managed to do this without making Fievel annoying, at least in my opinion. The closest he ever got was that one scene when he just wouldn't. And even that gets a pass because it was likely supposed to be annoying. Also, this movie turns out to be a musical, as the mice all sing about their individual cat problems, which shall all be solved once they get to America. And how does the first song of the movie sound, in my opinion? Kind of cringy, to be honest. Alright, calm down, calm down. I didn't say it was bad. I do like the song. It's just kind of cringy, in my opinion. Like, I get what happened to each mouse is meant to be a tragic story or whatever, but it's all just so over-dramatised that it feels like I'm watching a school play or something. So I can't take it seriously at all.
Our family was traveling through the snow to Minsk. Suddenly Papa saw those huge paw prints.
Like I say, I get that this is supposed to be the mice sharing tragic stories of things that actually happened, but it just sounds so staged. But then, there is an overall staged musical theme to the whole thing, which really becomes apparent quite beautifully as the song draws to a close, especially in the animation, so maybe that was the point. Fievel, despite being told to stay inside, wants to go see some fish, and I have to say, I love how Fievel actually throws his hat out the door, just so he'll have a plausible excuse for when he's inevitably told off for going outside. It's a small thing, but I can actually see a child of that age doing something like that. They didn't need to include it, but it was cool they did, and I applaud them for it. But of course, as the song goes, don't be afraid to catch fish. Be afraid of storms that throw you off the boat while you're trying to do so, like this. Gee, it's never a dull moment with this family, is it? Also, check out the effects of the water. They're absolutely perfect for an intense scene like this. Yeah, another intense scene. Like I said, never a dull moment with this family. And stop it there. What on earth is that? I watched this movie all the time as a kid. How did I not notice some kind of water monster there? I mean, I get that it's likely a metaphor for how a storm might look to a child or something, but I don't know, it's just weird I don't remember it. I mean, it's not like the movie could have somehow changed within this given time. So, it's obviously just my memory that... Oh. Anyway, despite his papa's best efforts, the storm turns out to be too powerful, and Fievel ends up being thrown into the sea. Oh. So I guess the movie's over then. Huh. Well, I didn't expect it to end like that. Whatever. It was okay, I guess. Only joking, it turns out Fievel's alive, and he's made it to America! And after a little sing-song about never giving up, it's time to find his family. Or, you know, get forced into slavery by the movie's villain, whichever comes first. Thankfully, Fievel escapes, leading to an uncertain wander around an unfamiliar country, which is likely scary enough to a human child, let alone a... What are young mice called anyway? Pups? Really? Okay. Anyway, the fact that Fievel is a lot smaller than his surroundings is shown perfectly here, by having him faced with dangers, many of which wouldn't be a real problem for us, but for a mouse? Yeah, it goes without saying. Also, I love that although this is a children's movie, they still show Fievel at risk, even though nothing actually happens to him. Because, you know, you can keep a character safe without drumming it into the audience's heads that they're in no danger. But some shows don't seem to realise that, do they? Tony, an older mouse from the sweatshop, and as far as we know the only one who escaped for some reason, meets up with Fievel and takes him to find his family. Or, you know, takes him straight past his family and then loses concentration over a girl. Seriously guys, they were right there. Actually, I'm okay with this, because it means we get some cute romantic moments, which, while admittedly not all that relevant to the story in this case, are always welcome by me if done right. Because ever since childhood, I've always loved romantic moments. I mean, come on, we all did, right? Just me? Yeah, I know. Anyway, while these two love mice are sitting in a deviant art drawing, this seems like a good enough time as any to talk about how beautifully done the art style and animation of this movie is, in my opinion. Pretty much every location looks like a detailed painting has been brought to life, and the characters themselves are fabulously drawn. The animation looks smooth and flows brilliantly, and clearly took the time, effort and love that I expect from animation. The paper-drawn style really fits this movie. Not that I'm saying that the movie would be bad if it was Flash or CGI or anything, and I understand that paper-drawn takes more time, but if there is still a place for it, it's definitely in movies, because if anything, there'll be time to produce them. At least I assume so. I mean, I haven't actually made a movie yet. Meanwhile, Bridget, that's the mouse that Tony was crushing on, is trying to motivate the mice to stand up to the cats of America, which actually makes no sense whatsoever. Because as everyone knows, there are no cats in America. I mean, come on, seriously? Didn't they even watch their own movie while they were making it? I mean, everyone knows there's no such thing as cats in America, don't they?
What are you all afraid of?
Don't they?
Cats, 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 cats.
Wait, what's that?
There are no cats.
Fivel, I think that's a cat. No, I really think you need to... Oh. So I guess the movie's over then. Huh. Well, I didn't expect it to end like that, but wait a minute. I've done this joke already, haven't I? Turns out there are cats in America, and they are awesome! I love their evil-looking design, which makes perfect sense, as this movie is about mice. So of course the cats are going to look evil and threatening. I mean, listen, I love cats, but do I have anything against them being portrayed as the villains? Absolutely not. I love cats however they're portrayed. I mean, I get that if you love an animal you might not want them to be vilified all the time, but I actually don't mind it. Villains can be some of the coolest characters. And besides, there's plenty of good cat characters around, so I'm fine either way. So now that we know about the cats, what exactly are the mice going to do about them?
We must have a wowie.
A what?
You know, a wowie.
No, what are you going on about?
A large gathering of mice for a reason.
Do you mean a rally?
That's what I said. A wowie.
Anyway, the rally takes place, and because he's the main character, it ends up being Fivel who comes up with the idea of how to stop the cats. And I like how they don't take forever to listen to him just because he's a kid. But thinking of that, his family are there, and we can't have them notice each other just yet. So it was likely done to make sure Fivel didn't attract too much attention. In fact, I love how Fivel and his family are so tauntingly close to each other at times, but there's always something, mainly plot convenience, preventing them from seeing each other. I mean, seriously, just turn around! Wow, isn't this a hauntingly beautiful room? It seems to me like the perfect place for a hauntingly beautiful song. And that's exactly what we're gonna get! Somewhere Out There is by far the most beautiful song in the movie, in my opinion. And I love how, despite having a clear storyline in this movie, i.e. Fivel and his sister Tanya missing each other, the lyrics alone are ambiguous enough with the relationship between the two singers that it can very easily be used out of context for any other separated characters. Friends, family, lovers, all of them can be part of the Somewhere Out There scene if they're sadly apart from each other. I mean, I'm not saying that that was the intention of the writers because, I don't know, but it's a nice bonus at any rate, and I love that about it. Another thing I love about Somewhere Out There is that it is one of the few movie songs out there to be treated as a real song, meaning that it gets played on the radio at times. And if you ask me, far more movie songs should be given this treatment, because what exactly stops movie songs from being real songs anyway? Also, I'm guessing people are over it by now, but you know how hated Let It Go was for being played everywhere? Yeah, didn't bother me in the slightest, because it was another example of this, and there needs to be more of them. And I haven't even seen Frozen! In fact, this movie's soundtrack in itself is very beautiful. Everything sounds appropriate to what's happening on screen, it captures the desired emotion perfectly, and just sounds beautiful, even nostalgic in places. It's just beautiful, full stop. Which comes as no surprise when you realise who did it. The plan goes into action, which involves Fievel's family taking part, this one mouse doing that, and everyone generally looking like they're building a knitted balloon or something. Also, is this really going to do with all the cats in the entirety of America? Because I don't think it will. Fievel and Tony rush out because Tony's late for a date or something, and get separated because we need to move the story forward. Fievel ends up at the cat's hideout, and I have to say, the cats have gone through a bit of a downgrade. I mean, they look okay, but we've gone from the awesomely evil and beautifully threatening look of before to basically just thugs. And it just feels like a bit of a downgrade. But didn't I say that earlier in this review that there was some other villain in the movie? I sure did, because there is. Warren T. Rat, everybody! And how does he rate as a villain? Well, he's okay, I guess. I mean, you can tell he's the bad guy. But you know how earlier I said villains can be some of the coolest characters? Yeah, I don't think that really applies to him. That being said, I do like how he's always trying to sound cultured with random Shakespeare quotes and what have you, even though he clearly doesn't know what he's saying half the time. That was a nice touch in my opinion. Of course, one interesting thing about Warren T. Rat is that there's a twist to the character. Because you see, you find out at some point that he's actually—
No spoilers!
Sorry. But of course, because he can't stay out of trouble for a split second, Fievel gets captured by the cats. That's bad. But his guard ends up being the one good cat in the entire movie. That's good. This leads to the final song, which while not quite Somewhere Out There, was always pretty memorable for me. I think I even had it recorded for me on cassette tape at one point. But then I'm not that sure. But what I really love about this scene is the visuals. The way Fievel and Tiger are shown in different colours during certain moments is beautifully effective. It's always looked really cool and magical in my opinion, whenever cartoons do that. I'm always gonna love it. The remainder of this movie is basically an action-packed free-for-all, as the Mises' plan to make No Cat in America more accurate takes an unexpected turn. It's pretty intense, and contains some awesomely animated moments, a pretty cool way to essentially round off that storyline. Oh wait, what? There's a fire? You mean you expected the fire to be over here? But at the end of the day, this really is a beautifully done movie. It balances out emotions beautifully by having fun moments without being too silly, but isn't afraid to have more heartwarming or even sad moments, which if you ask me, really helps in the movie's favour. It may not be my favourite movie from childhood, or even of all time, but it's definitely somewhere up there. Did I seriously just do that? So to conclude my first animation review, on the scale from awful to awesome, An American Tail is, in my personal opinion, a great movie. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more animation reviews, feel free to subscribe to my channel. And until the next video, see you around, YouTubers! Meanwhile, Bridget is trying to get the cats motivated. She's not trying to get the cats motivated! Never mind. Or get slaved into falsery. Slaved into falsery?